Hello, my name is Joe Berkstaller. I'm of course a trumpet player, and I will be performing soloing with the Symphony of the Southwest on November 15 at 7 p.m. at the Center for the Arts in Mesa. Conducting that concert will be the new music director of the Symphony of the Southwest, Maestra Julie Debord from France, and full disclosure, I'm her husband. For that concert, we're going to be performing two of my favorite works. One is on piccolo trumpet, which of course is the smallest member of the trumpet family. A normal trumpet is literally twice the size and length. The piccolo trumpet sounds a little more like a flute, a little gentler, and twice as high in the tessitura. It's an octave higher. I'll be performing a work originally for violin and chamber orchestra by Antonio Vivaldi, and then later adapted by J.S. Bach. And I've further adapted for piccolo trumpet and string orchestra. It's called Concerto in D. Now, I find one of the most heartwarming stories around music can be the composer's background and why they wrote this particular piece. In this case, Vivaldi, his day gig was he taught stringed instruments at a girls' orphanage in Venice. And he was not yet famous. He just was making a difference in the world through music, which is the purpose, the essence of music. And one day, the administration came to Vivaldi and said, "We're so sorry, we've run out of money to pay you." And he was sent home. And for the first time in his life, he had nothing to do. He went to his apartment in Venice, and he spent entire days and weeks and months on composition for the first time in his entire life. And he wrote 12 compositions, all concerti, mostly for violin and string orchestra, and then found a publisher, and they bundled this together. They called it L'Estro Armonico, and it spread like wildfire throughout Europe, became very popular, and for the first time in his career, he was famous and successful as a composer. And then shortly thereafter, they found another benefactor to bring him back to the orphanage, and he combined his two loves, teaching and composing, and became the Antonio Vivaldi with whom we are familiar with today. The second piece we're going to perform is by another one of my favorite composers, Astor Piazzolla from Argentina. He wrote Oblivion, which is, according to Google, his most famous composition now. It used to be Libertango, but now it's Oblivion. We're going to be performing Oblivion on the flugelhorn, which you may remember Chuck Mangione with the fedora and the feathered hat, and he was very famous in the 80s. In fact, he topped the pop charts on flugelhorn with Feel So Good. Well, we're not performing Feel So Good, but it's very similar in heart. Oblivion is perhaps the most beautiful piece you might ever hear in your life. I always think that playing the flugelhorn feels like the sound of a hug, if that's possible. So those are the two pieces we'll be performing for you. Concerto in D major by Antonio Vivaldi and further adapted by J.S. Bach. And then the Oblivion by Astor Piazzolla. We're looking forward to seeing you at our concert, November 15, 7 p.m. at the Mesa Performing Arts Center. Myself, Joe Berkstaller, as trumpet, soloist, piccolo trumpet, and flugelhorn, Maestra Julie Debord, conducting the Symphony of the Southwest. See you then.